Hello fellow reader friends, welcome back to my channel. OhSheReads here with another video. And today's video is going to be a haul video, which I am actually really excited to share with you all because it's a different type of haul video here on this channel. And it's kind of something that I alluded to in my The Return video when I discussed my long absence from YouTube and the reasons behind that. So without much ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So this haul video today is something I'm calling a throwback haul. And you might ask, what is a throwback haul? Well, I'll be more than happy to answer that for you. If you hear any strange noises in the background, that's just Teddy running around acting wild. So this is a throwback haul because I actually ordered these books on September 19th of 2016. Yes, that's right folks, that was over 8 months ago and I did not open the box whatsoever. I remember like it was yesterday, the day the package came, and it's just laid around in my former home for, well, 8 months apparently. And I discussed it a little bit in that video, but I was definitely going through a lot the past year and I just wasn't in the best place emotionally. My mental health wasn't the best, and so I think that definitely added to the reason why the haul was never hauled, and I basically just had a box of books sitting around in my apartment unopened. So here it is, here are the books, and I'm going to share what's in this box with you all today. Oh, it's so heavy. I ordered from good old book outlet, as you know I do, and one moment. It's honestly been so long I don't even remember what I ordered, so this is going to be kind of fun to discover that together. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Step one is to open the box. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this to you guys, but I'll try. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so far so good. This is so heavy, you guys. Eee! I'll be right back. And it's open! Hooray! So let's go ahead and get started with this haul. I need to put this box down, you guys. Okay, so you can't see it, but I got a chair right here where the box is resting, and I'm just gonna start lifting out these books one by one. We're gonna be discovering them together. First, you know, you get the paper as you do with any book outlet book order. Lots of paper. Next up, I have my handy dandy receipt right here. See what it says. Okay. Yep, order date September 10th, 2016. So that means it must have either shipped on the 19th or I received it on the 19th, because that's the date on the shipping label on the box. Wow, I ordered quite a lot of books here. All right, so first up is, The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. And I have been trying to collect this particular series, the Mistborn series, in this paperback and this particular edition. So I think I was at the time on the lookout for this book. I think this is the third and final book. I'm not even sure. It's been so long since I've thought about the Mistborn books or anything having to do with Brandon Sanderson that, yes, this is the third and final book, so I think I was trying to finish my collection. So here you go. And for those of you that don't know, which I feel like everyone knows, Brandon Sanderson is huge in a fantasy genre, high fantasy, and apparently he's just brilliant. I haven't been able to get into his books. I cannot tell you how many times I've started Mistborn and just not been able to proceed. So it just must not be the right reading season for me to get into that one. So hopefully one day, now that I have completed collecting the series, I will dive into it. The next book I have here is Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, and this was a nostalgia buy for me. Blink was a book that I read way back in 2007 when I was in college. For those of you that don't know, I attended Tisch School of the Arts at NYU and studied experimental theater, and so as an actor we were doing a show based off of this book, and the show was amazing. One of the most enriching acting experiences of my life. but it was all based off of this book right here. And I remember we got a chance to meet Malcolm Gladwell and speak with him, and it was such an honor to meet with him. This book is truly brilliant and really just makes you think about your perception and how those first few seconds of meeting someone or even seeing someone, the perception that you get, you know, that first initial reaction that you get, and all the stereotypes that come attached with that because of what society has drilled into us about people based on their looks or their complexion, or shall I say their race. So this book is amazing, and it just goes into the power of thinking and your mind, and how your mind gets trained to sort of have these perceptions in the blink of an eye. In a matter of seconds, you can think a certain trend and train of thoughts that you have been subconsciously trained to think, and how you can overcome that through self-awareness. So this book is really great. So when you learn how quickly we can form just thoughts and opinions on things in a matter of seconds, because our minds are just so powerful and they collect so much information, you start to kind of learn in this book how you can use that power for the good, how you can use that power to better yourself, to make better decisions, better life choices, and kind of how you can harness that brain power and that way of thought. So this book is really fascinating read. Come here, little one. Are you okay? Oh, you tired? Are you tired? Are you bored? You poor thing. It's okay. Next up in this box of goodies is Rilla of Ingleside, and this is a part of the Anne of Avonlea series, Anne of Green Gables, you know what I'm talking about. I believe that this is kind of a companion to that series, because that first series follows Anne Gilbert as she grows up from an orphan and just being taken in, and her life and throughout the years up until she gets married and has children of her own. So this one, I'm not sure who Rilla is, but I do know that this is a companion novel. Oh, cool. It's actually Anne and her husband's daughter. So that's pretty cool. And she's the youngest of all of their children. So I guess this book kind of follows her and her adventures. And I absolutely adored this series as a kid. So when I saw this, and I've been trying to collect them in this edition, I just think they're so beautiful and artistic. Look at that. That's gorgeous. So when I saw this on Book Outlet, I just knew I had to grab it while I could. Now here I have a book that I have been haphazardly trying to collect this series for some reason. I sped read the first book. I was trying to remember if the tense would be speed read or sped read, but it's past tense, so it's sped read. Things that go through my thoughts. I sped read the first book back in 2014, and I skimmed the second book and skimmed the third, but I always knew that I wanted to go back and actually really read the series. And this is the Under the Never Sky series. It's a science fiction young adult series. This is the first book, Under the Never Sky. I believe I own the second or third book. I think it's the second book I already own, so now I just have to collect the third, and then I'll be set. And when I'm ready to get into the series in depth and actually truly read these books cover to cover, I have them on hand. The next book I have to show you is Until Friday Night by Abby Glines. Now, Abby Glines is an author that I've actually followed for a really long time. She used to be another one of those self-published indie authors that has now made it big and is now connected to a publisher. Her first couple books, I remember she used to release out on Kindle, and I used to just devour them. I loved her books. And somewhere along the way, she got really cheesy, really predictable. Her plot lines started to feel recycled to me, so I kind of stopped reading her books, but I want to get back into them. And I've heard pretty decent things about this book. I believe this starts a new series. I'm not sure if I managed to get my hands on the first book. I think so. And I believe it's the Field Party series. I don't know if it's gonna be a specific set amount of books or what, but I thought I might as well get my hands on this one and give her another try. Cami Garcia has blurbed this on the bottom. It says, tender, honest, and achingly real. This book has it all, and I can't wait. And I can't wait for the next Field Party. So in this book we have Maggie and West, and Maggie is basically going through a lot. Her life is completely shattered, her mother is dead, and her father had something to do with it. And then we have West, who's also lost a parent, and his is a little different from Maggie. situation. Basically, his father has passed away and he doesn't know what to do with himself. His father seemed to have been the anchor of this family, his mother's best friend and the love of her life, and of course his hero. And he wants to play college football next year, but not without his father. He can't imagine doing it without his dad there to see him live out his dreams. So this should be a pretty good emotional read. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Abby Glines can work her magic and make her way back into my reading heart. The next book I have to show you guys is The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon, and this book is the second book in a series that began with the Bone season. This is an adult series and I've heard nothing but amazing things. I have the Bone season and so I'm slowly just collecting the series. I'm going to collect the third book because I believe it came out last year, and then I will just binge the series as I do. I don't know what this book is about because it is the second book in the series and I have not yet read the first, but yep, on my way to having the whole series on my shelf. Guys, we are not even halfway through this box. Oh my goodness. Next up, I have another second book in a series that I guess I'm slowly collecting. I have the first book, which I have not read yet, and it is a new adult book, I believe. This book is Juliet by Lisa Raven. Is Bad Romeo, and I've heard pleasant things about this read. I feel like I kind of want to start collecting new adult books in actual physical form. I have so many of them on my Kindle, but I kind of want to start collecting them a little bit more in physical form. So I believe that's why I have acquired this, and the fact that I have the first book already. So I'm sure there's a romance in this series. I mean, that's really what the new adult genre seems to be all about at this point. And I'm not really sure what's going on in this book because I haven't yet read the first one, but I got the second one. I have to show you another Malcolm Gladwell book, and this one is David and Goliath. Here it says, Underdogs, Misfits, and the Art of Battling Giants. Years ago, on a battlefield in ancient Palestine, a shepherd boy felled a mighty warrior with nothing more than a stone and a sling, and ever since then, the names David and Goliath have stood for battles between underdogs and giants. David's victory was improbable and miraculous. He shouldn't have won, or should he have? And Goliath, Malcolm Gladwell challenges how we think about obstacles and disadvantages, offering a new interpretation of what it means to be discriminated against, or suffer from a disability, or lose a parent, or attend a mediocre school, or experience any number of other apparent setbacks. In the tradition of Gladwell's previous bestsellers, David and Goliath draws upon history, psychology, and powerful storytelling to reshape the way we think about the world around us. This is going to be another good one. If you haven't caught on from the first book, Blink, he writes nonfiction and it's a lot of psychology in there, really makes you think. And I love the way that he writes. It's very straightforward, but it's also very poetic in a way. He's a great writer and I really enjoy his novels. I guess they're not novels, his nonfiction books. So I am slowly collecting everything that he's written. I think I have The Tipping Point already. Now I have Blink, and now I have David and Goliath. This thing is Outliers, which I'll be hauling very soon. I have to show you a book I snatched up because several booktubers were raving about it, so I knew I had to get my hands on it. It is A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGinnis. McGinnis wrote the Not a Drop to Drink companion series. I believe it was Not a Drop to Drink and then Dust, and it was dystopian-esque novels about this world where I'm not sure if it was Earth in the future or if it was a different world, but in this dystopian world there was no water left, and this girl and I believe her mother had this small pond of water right in front of their house, and it was basically how they literally had to protect this little pool of water with their lives because everyone was trying to get to it. I never read that book, but it was included in my very first haul. I believe it was my very first haul on this channel way back in 2014. So definitely go check out that video. I can't believe I still haven't read that book. It's been 3 years. But you know how we always say, well, I'll get to it one day. But yeah, same author. This book was raved about on BookTube, I want to say early 2016, and I think it has something to do with an insane asylum. It said Grace May knows madness. She keeps it locked away, along with her voice, trapped deep inside a brilliant mind that cannot forget horrific family secrets. Those secrets, along with the bulge in her belly, land her in Boston Insane Asylum. When her voice returns in a burst of violence, Grace is banished to the dark cellars where her mind is where her mind is discovered by a visiting doctor who dabbles in the new study of criminal psychology. With her keen eyes and sharp memory, Grace will make the perfect assistant at crime scenes. Escaping from Boston to the safety of an ethical Ohio asylum, Grace finds friendship and hope, hints of a life she should have had. But gruesome nights bring Grace and the doctor in the circle of a killer who stalks young women. Grace, continuing to operate under the cloak of madness, must hunt a murderer while she confronts the demons in her own past. Wow. So I guess this is kind of like a historical thriller. It sounds very intriguing. I believe Grace with the book in her face, I think that's her channel name. But Grace here on BookTube, I think, is the one who sold me on this novel. She seemed to find it absolutely delightful, and so of course I had to grab it when I saw it on Book Outlet. Book that I've had my eye on for quite some time, and I used to do this little dance with it on Amazon where I put it in my cart and then I hit save for later, and then I put it back in my cart and then I hit save for later. But when I saw it on Book Outlet, I knew I just had to add it to this haul, and that is Emmy and Oliver. Benway. And this is a love story, obviously you can tell by this cover. It's a young adult novel. I don't know what this book is about, but I've heard nothing but great things. All the Amazon reviews are 5 stars. I'm not sure about the Goodreads reviews, but I'll definitely link the Goodreads pages of all of these novels. Whoa, angry much? Down below. It just says Emmy wants to be in charge of her own life. She wants to stay out late, surf at her favorite beach, go anywhere without her parents' relentless worrying. But Emmy's parents can't seem to let her go, not since the day 10 years ago when her best friend Oliver disappeared. Now, Oliver needs a moment to figure it all out. He thought all these years that his father was the good guy. He never knew that his dad had kidnapped him, and kept him on the run. Discovering it all at once and returning to his old hometown. Getting eaten up by mosquitoes out here, you guys. Gotta hurry up with this video. Aching and his swirling. Wow. Okay. So this is interesting. So I'm guessing he comes back into town after being kidnapped and he had no clue. And here's Emmy, whose parents have completely smothered her because her best friend disappeared, and now he's back. And ooh, I can't wait to see what happens, guys. I can't wait to see what happens. What I have to show you is another series that I'm slowly collecting before I binge read them all. Second book in the Winter's Curse trilogy. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's by Marie Grotowski, I think is how you pronounce her name. And this is The Winter's Crime. 2, like I said before, and yeah, I'm slowly gonna go ahead and get my hands on book 3, probably within the next 4 or 5 months, and then I'll go ahead and read the entire series. This series is definitely more of a fall, winterish read to me, so I'm looking forward to getting these under my belt this fall. I have The Queen of Bright and Shiny Things by Anne Aguirre. 2 people, we have Sage and we have Shane. Is Little Miss Perfect, trying really hard to keep everything together. She doesn't want people to look too closely and see all of the cracks in her perfect veneer. And then we have Shane, who I guess comes into her school, high school, as this is a young adult novel. And you know, he's a new kid on the block. He just wants to be left alone to make his music and be all broody and mysterious. And I guess he has some type of heartbreak in his past or something, who knows, you know, how it is. And you know, these two come into contact with each other, sparks fly, and you know, I pretty much wrapped up the whole plot right there. But it should be a delightful little read, and I'm looking forward to it, I swear. I promise I am. I promise. I'm really excited to see that I have now acquired P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. And if you guys don't know by now, although you should by some of the other more recent videos I put up, I absolutely love this series by Jenny Han. It starts with To All the Boys by mosquitoes, y'all. It's not good. Gotta plan better for next time. Starts off with To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and this is book 2, P.S. I Still Love You, and then the series wraps up with Always and Forever Lara Jean, which I have now read. I loved. If my wrap-up video discussing this has not yet gone up yet, then I will discuss it then, but I absolutely freaking love that book. I love the whole series. Love it, love it, love it. So I'm glad I have them all now. I'm so excited. Good to go. Yes. Still have more books to show you. This is crazy. Oh my, this is crazy. Oh my god, I went insane. This book is a book that had a lot of buzz when it first came out, and I never got it or read it, but when I saw it on Book Outlet, I knew I just had to get it, give it a try, see what it was all about. And this is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I believe this deals with mental illness. This is another young adult contemporary. And let's see. Theodore Finch is fascinated by death. Every day he thinks of ways he might die, but every day he also searches for and manages to find something to keep him here and alive and awake. Violet Markey lives for the future, counting the days until graduation when she can escape her small Indiana town and her aching grief in the wake of her sister's death. So that's just a little bit about each protagonist in this novel, and I was right, it does deal with some type of depression. I don't know if it's mental illness or just, you know, just that type of dark topic, you know, when you start talking about suicide awareness, prevention. I hope this book definitely touches on all those subjects. If you see me twitching around, it's because I'm being eaten up by mosquitoes and I'm trying to wrap up this video, so let's move on to the next book. Oh my gosh, I finally got my hands on this one. This is A Gathering of Shadows by B.E. Schwab, and I believe this is part of the series A Darker Shade of Magic series. I don't have A Darker Shade of Magic, ironically. Yes, I'm still being eaten up by mosquitoes, so excuse the wriggling. But I definitely want to get my hands on A Darker Shade of Magic soon, because this is another series that just screams fall to me that I definitely want to binge. So yes, moving on. This next book is a book that has intrigued me for quite some time, and I used to stalk the Goodreads page, and by stalk I mean I would go on there, read what the synopsis said, and then go on Amazon, put it in my cart, and then a couple weeks later or months later I would forget what the synopsis said and it would pop up on my recommendeds, and I would go again and read the synopsis on Goodreads and then go back to my Amazon cart and see that it was put in my saved for later, and then put it back in my cart and then put it back in my saved for later. But yes, finally have my hands on it, thanks to Book Outlet. This is The Orphan Queen by Jody Meadows. Teddy's going buck wild. Who are you barking at? This is too good. Can't make this stuff up, guys. The Orphan Queen, and it's the start of a series about an orphan queen or something. I don't know. Another young adult. Fantasy. Yay. Moving on. Oh my gosh, mosquitoes. Yay! I got Crimson Bound! And this is a book I actually acquired from the library, and I was kind of making my way through it, and then I ended up skipping? More like skimming the last third of, ignore Teddy, the last third of the novel. So I went ahead and got it from Book Outlet so that I can read it at my leisure and not feel like haunted by those due dates that the library just like, oh, and there's only so many times you can renew a book. You know what I mean? Gosh. For those of you who don't know, I completely just didn't talk about this book, but this author also wrote Cruel Beauty, and I don't think that this is the same world, at least, no, it's not. No, it's not. Cruel Beauty was very interesting. I remember reading it 2015, I think, and I found it to be fascinating, not like riveting, but it made me really interested in Rosamund Hodges' writing and made me want to follow her career. So yeah, I still feel that way about her. She's a great writer. Teddy is so lit right now, so lit. Oh, we're almost getting to the bottom of the box, and here we have Firewalker by Josephine Angelini, and this is the second book in her, God, what is the name of this series? I have no clue what this series is called, but it starts with Trial by Fire, which I read and really enjoyed. I found it to be a really cool twist because it takes place in an alternate universe where Native Americans actually thrived, and I don't remember what I was saying because my camera overheated and shut off as it does. It's a great camera, but flaws, guys. But yes, this novel explores parallel universes, so it's good. It's interesting. It kept my attention. The first book I thought was really cool, enough that made me want to read the second. I lost interest at some point last year because I think that's when I started to go into my kind of, I don't want to call it a depression, but kind of like a funk towards the end of last summer going into the fall. I was kind of in a weird place. Once again, I've mentioned it several times already in this video, but yeah, so I didn't kind of make my way through this, but yeah, I got it. I can do it now in my own time. Okay. Oh my god, finally, guys, we've gotten to the end of this haul. This is the last book, The Golem and the Genie, and this book is by Helene Recker. Whatevs. I have had my eye on this book for years, and every time I would see it on Book Outlet, it would always get sold out before I could purchase it. I would put it in my cart and I would go back to purchase, and it would be sold out because they would only have like 1 or 2 copies. So yay, I finally succeeded. And this basically says it combines the narrative and the magic of the Arabian Nights with the kind of emotional depth, philosophical, I can't talk anymore, guys, philosophical seriousness and good old-fashioned storytelling found in the stories of some other dude. I don't know his name. Whatever. Anyways, should be interesting. Golems, genies, fantasy. I'm all here for it. This is an adult novel, which even better. Can't wait. Everyone that's read this on BookTube loves it, so I had to get my hands on it. Oh my gosh, so that's it. That concludes my haul, you guys. I had to put all that stuff back in this box. Believe me, I don't have room. I'm staying, like I mentioned before, I'm staying at my parents' house right now, and I just don't have room. I'm in this itty bitty room, and like I have like this small ass bookshelf set up, and I'm just not gonna have room on my shelf for these other books. I had to get a storage to put my stuff in. I'm definitely in a transitional place right now. I'm looking to move within the next 4 or 5 weeks. Anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks to 2 to 3 months. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I'm in a great place mentally. So for those of you who commented on my return video, how happy they are that I'm back, thank you so much, you guys. And once again, if you have any requests for any videos, sorry, these mosquitoes. Oh, they love me. But if you have any video requests, any types of videos that you want me to film, I'm totally open. Leave it in the comments and I will see what I can do. But until next time, book friends, me and my giant box, I'm gonna go inside. It sounded vaguely dirty and strange, but yes, I'll catch you in my next video. Bye, guys. And finally, last but not least, wrapping up this little section of books is Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight, An African Childhood by Alexandra Fuller. So I have had my eye on this novel for over a year now, since I purchased it on a whim, really, and I really just saw it one day while I was perusing through Amazon, I believe. It caught my eye and it had just rave reviews, so many 5-star reviews, and so I put it in my cart, I purchased it, and I have been sort of holding off on reading it. I don't know exactly why. For those of you who don't know, I'm African, I'm Nigerian, and as you can see, this fellow African is Caucasian, and so she's definitely